another beginning.
And
Right.
that is what Western education describes as entropy.
Mm.
Is that, a reset is inevitable. You know what I'm saying, throughout the course of time. So like things that happen, they go through these
Cycles.
cycles or whatever the case may be. It's not, that's the rhythm of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Ebbs and
I was just
flows.
about to say that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, that's what happens.
Right.
Right? And there again, that idea is demonstrated in everything.
Right.
Right? There's a period of time in the earth when everything goes into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a period of time when everything comes out.
Mm-hmm.
The water comes in, the water goes out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean? So like the pattern is there. It's expressed in so many different ways. You know what I mean? To say the one idea.
One idea.
Right.
Different expressions carry the one idea.
The one idea.
You know
So
what I mean?
when did the focus become on the one instead of the all?
Say that again.
Go ahead, say it again.
When did the focus become on the one instead of the all?
Okay.
So what's interesting about that, right? When I started looking into the Mahabharata, and you talk about the different the yugas, which are the changes. Each yuga represents a change. Give me a second. I just got chills. It pretty much talked about what we talked about last week.
Right.
Each yuga is a change in the human quality.
Okay.
So it was a point in time where, trying to see where the first yuga was, because it's got a lot of stuff in there. But pretty much when the human being was more aligned with the cosmos.
Right.
They were, as we would say, well, these are gods. No, these were us at that state of consciousness and that state of awareness. There was no sacrifices. There was no, it was all glory going back to the all.
The all.
It was, we knew we were connected, cosmic. As above, so below.
Right.
The macro and the micro were one. Was all.
Right.
So it's almost like it goes back to what we said. It's almost like we have to become what we're not to understand what we are. And then after that yuga, it's like another reset. And then the state of being kind of diminishes, for lack of a better term. But it's still a connection.
Right.
But now it's kind of like, man, I wish I had it. Go ahead, Adon.
So each one of these yugas, are they're carried for I don't want to say a set number of years.
Some would say 24,000 years, or a certain span of time. Yes.
And like through each one of them, you get, if I'm here, you get the different levels of spirituality and consciousness.
Yes.
Which we talked about. I don't think we used those terms before, right? But you see the consciousness of the people based on the leader that they choose.
Yes.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And like, just like in the present time, a lot of things are centered around strife, control, inculcating doubt, disbelief in, or disassociation from self, right? That, it's very very pervasive amongst, a large group of people. Like a lot of people are tuned into that frequency. You understand what I'm saying? So go ahead.
That's why they need God.
Got you.
Right.
Because if not, he's going to punish you.
Right.
Okay.
So I got to feed you. If you screw up now, what do you say? I'm going to send the vipers and the...
Oh, yes. He's going to send the fiery
Fiery
scorpions and serpents to
scorpions,
get you.
Right. Now, this isn't the creator. We all know that the creator has a polarity or duality to it.
Right.
Therefore, we become one with the creator. And then, like you said, there's ebbs and tides. Right. Ebbs and tides.
Right.
But when it comes to the God,
oh, that's punishment.
you ain't got but one way. It ain't no ebbs and tides. Ain't no back and forth. It's this or you hell fire.
Right.
Or
which is the complete opposite of what, let's just say, what Mother Earth shows us.
I'm gonna give you an example. He asked a question earlier, and I thought it was interesting the frame of questioning, and I wanted to ask. He asked, "Have you been bathed in the blood of the Lamb?" And I'm thinking to myself, when did the ritual get switched from water?
Right. That's interesting.
Yahshua was washed in water.
Right. The mikvah.
Now all of a sudden, I got to be drenched in the blood of the Lamb. Now, when we talk about people who want to take this text literal, okay, let's see how clean you are if you bathe in lamb's blood opposed to water. So it's like, when did those rituals, when did those things get switched?
Right.
He came and was bathed in the river, natural water, by what we know as naturalist.
Right.
The Essene were known for being natural people,
Right.
in the woods, eating of the land, traveling, bringing the word in a natural aspect. Then all of a sudden now, I have to be bathed in the blood of a lamb. Everything is by the blood. It's like, who's asking for all this blood?
Right.
When did it get?
Well,
It's man. So while you were talking, I was looking up to try to remember what yuga they say that we're in. So it's debatable, but a lot of scholars or holy men, they say that we're in the Kali Yuga, which is the age of the demon or darkness.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I read it, the way it's described, it's like it's when people move further away from the source, and they need to do sacrifices, and it's like a selfishness. It's about self. It's about the individual. It's about
my foe and no more.
right. And
Yeah.
it's just interesting. Going back to what you're saying, it's like, when did the blood come in, period? I need this amount of women, virgins. I need this amount of cattle and so on, and blood and so on and so forth. And I think that because it's ingrained in our collective consciousness, when you get to the character of Yahshua and what happened, you still have people that's still indoctrinated in that sacrificial mindset.
Right.
Not necessarily sacrificing the carnal man or the carnal mind,
right,
and allowing your heart to expand and allow your intellect to be filtered through the heart, and you've been transformed into the Christ or the consciousness.
Right.
They're looking at they can't help at their level of consciousness, whoever they are, to see, oh, a physical man had to come and die, or a physical,
because it couldn't,
God outside of me,
right,
that was so more perfect than me,
right,
because I'm afraid to take accountability,
come on,
of my reality,
right,
how I experience and express reality. So I'm gonna throw that on this guy, and it's still the blood. It's got to be blood. We got to carry that on to the next.
But the truth of the matter is, I'm sorry, but that idea is not true anywhere you go. You cannot. I can't put my mistakes on Zocaine.
Right.
That's just because here's the thing, right? Nope. I personally don't know many people who have been on the other side of closing your eyes, going into the portal of death.
All right.
Don't nobody know what's going on that side.
Unless they have an NDE. And then the intellectuals would say that's debatable.
That's debatable.
There could be some stuff going on in their brain, the lights,
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know.
Right.
Right. And then I'm not gonna get into the whole atonement piece, right? But because by the formula, right, is like, once you've been atoned for, the idea of being cursed or all of that is clean.
That's clean.
Your life should take a dramatic turn of events as a result of all the blood that's been spilled, so on and so forth, man. Like I'm not trying to get into a whole lot about that, but
and I just want to be clear for the audience. We're not making it a Bible thing, but we're making it a Bible thing because that's a lot of us come from that foundation.
But
also in the Hindu understanding. It's when a person feels or they have lived a life of separation or I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get ahead, and I hurt you and I hurt you and I hurt you.
Right.
And they come to a place of realization, they make atonement and they turn and change their nature. So it's not just biblical, but we're using references that we know a lot of the viewers will be watching.
Because
You're being nice.
I'm being nice.
Right. Because it is. Not to cut you off, but it's biblical.
it is.
That's where the idea comes from.
Right.
It's like
And I mean, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It's I agree, because that is the ideological stance that has been taken by the people who have dominion over what you read.
right.
You understand what
That's
I'm saying?
why I mean, like I said, I love all of y'all, but I am that I am, and I personally just think Yahweh was out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, don't have no other God before me. I'm gonna send you my son, and that's who you pay reference to. You know what I'm saying? He gonna take all of the sins off of you. I thought you just said we ain't supposed to worship nobody.
Well, I would say that when you're talking about that, I'm gonna send this. That's something made up. That's some made up stuff from whoever wanted to control the narrative or the people.
Right. But like Malak was saying, that's the influential ideology coming from the book, because we have thousands of brothers who believe that.
Right.
Now, I personally know a Hebrew. If you bring him a Bible, he rip it in half.
Right.
I mean, literally,
Oh,
he'll
yeah.
rip your
Yeah,
Bible in half, and toss the New Testament to the side and tell you that it's garbage.
Right.
You know, that's a little extreme.
Right.
But I do know that brother, literally.
Right.
And for this to be something that this is probably the most widespread, I'm gonna use the word controversy,
Right.
that is discussed amongst people in general.
Right.
Right? Because whether we see it or not, right? I believe that everybody is trying to make their way to the realization of self.
Yes.
Everybody is trying to reconnect with source, because we are not separate from source.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There is an innate energetic blueprint of you that is connected to source.
Right.
Sorry.
To get to back to the bless you.
Thank you.
Get to the
Yeah.
back to the original statement that they were making. That's the problem. People have the buffer of Yahweh in between them and the Creator. But by understanding that ye or you are the God, you have a direct connection to the Creator.
Right.
So there is no middleman
Right.
to have you diverted by all of this extra.
Right. And that's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that you need
You can
this.
get right to the source. Now, the question is,
Well, let me ask you this.
But-
I'm just, well, why don't you need the middleman to be cursed?
because you're cursed. If you have that middleman, it's the middleman that told you
That
you
you
were
were
cursed.
I mean, I got you.
I
mean,
know.
But shouldn't it work on both sides?
Say it again. Ask the question
What you
again.
mean,
Why don't you need the middleman
Why don't
to be cursed?
You need the middleman to...
to get to the Creator or that
Why don't you need
the curse.
Well, why don't you need the middleman?
The middleman gave you the curse.
I
You
understand.
get rid
So
of
what-
the middleman, and the curse is gone.
That's
It's
interesting.
just you and the Creator, because you the God. But
Right.
go ahead. I'm
Well,
sorry.
the thing is
That's interesting.
it's the person that's in the middle, right? He's controlling all of it. So you need him. So he's gonna make you think
Who needs
that you
him?
need him.
Oh, you're saying, okay, I got you.
Whoever he's talking to, whoever he's put the curse on,
Right.
you need this guy. And this is how this whole thing is flipped upside down.
Right.
Because now you're thinking, oh, I need this. I need that. And this is the guy who's going to give it to me.
Man, y'all talking a bunch of blasphemy over here, man.
And instead
I don't have problems with that.
because and why they teach you that Ain't nobody going to church no more once you find that
That's
out.
the point.
Once you find out that you
And
this,
I hate to take it to Hollywood, but if you remember the Clash of the Titans, the gods had a meeting. They're forgetting about us. They no longer send us